Court will come to order. It is Monday, October the 2nd, 2023, 9 o'clock in the morning. The Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. I want to remind everybody to turn off your phones. This is a special meeting. There will be no public input today. We do those on the regular meetings, which will be next week, next Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday, the 10th, because of the holiday. Forget these holidays. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the consideration agenda. 1.1 is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the resignation from the Kerr County Clerk. I think we've all got a copy of the letter.
I don't, but I've seen it.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this was after court last Monday, then court kind of clerk came up and handed me that letter. And then I gave it to Jody and passed it on. Jody's not here today.
Mercifully.
And I mentioned to the county clerk, I said we would not accept it for a while. She wanted to reconsider. I don't believe anyone's, I haven't heard anything. So in this case, I'll make a motion to accept the resignation from the county clerk.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to accept the resignation from the county clerk. Floor is open for discussion. Any questions or comments?
Is that letter available to the public?
It's a matter of public record, yes, sir.
Okay.
You can do a public information request.
It's short and sweet.
Let me read the letter. It's dated September 25, 2023. Good afternoon. Please accept this letter as my resignation from the Kerr County Clerk's office. I respectfully request the Chief Deputy County Clerk, Ian McCullum, be promoted to the position, quote, interim, close quote, effective immediately. Signed, Jackie Dow. That's all it is.
Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Bill Fitch, I'm sorry.
For the public, so that you can understand the context that this is in, when we have an elected official resign, that resignation is not effective until accepted by the court. So that's what is on the agenda today, is the formal acceptance of that resignation. They continue to hold that office actively until the resignation is accepted. Once the resignation is accepted, which we're about to take a vote on, then there still is a holdover provision that as an elected official, that official continues to be the official elected for that particular office until that position is filled. So even though we accept the resignation today, Ms. Dowdy is still officially the Kerr County Clerk until we put somebody else in that position. And obviously we're going to continue this on an interim basis, working with Mr. Collin to run the office. But until there is an official appointment, she still is technically the county clerk. And I'm sure that would be confusing to the public, but that's the way local government law works.
But in the absence of the county clerk, the chief deputy, Ian, has the authority to
Yes.
take all actions of the county clerk, correct?
Whereas if it was just a department head or something, we could fill that position.
Because they're appointed.
Exactly.
But this is an elected official and we have to follow the local government. So with that, any more discussion? Those in favor of accepting the resignation of the county clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.2, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to set the process for appointing the replacement to fill the unexpired term of the Kerr County Clerk. I'm sure we all have our own opinions about this. Let's first of all see, is there a motion and a second? Or we want to talk, not technically not supposed to talk about it until we have the motion and a second.
I'll make the motion that we take appropriate action to set the process for appointing the replacement to fill the unexpired term of the Kerr County Clerk.
I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second. Let's talk about what that appropriate action ought to be. At this point, I think we should be as transparent as possible, and as always, and we need to post the position, I think, and have a reasonable period for people to file applications to apply for that job. Then we'll review those applications and then come to court and take appropriate action on the basis of who applies.
When I first took office, that's one of the first things we did when we appointed, ended up selecting Jackie to take that position, and then she'd run unopposed since then. But we went through the application process, and I think it was, I don't know, I can't remember how many people applied, but we did the interviews, and that's how it turned out.
And, go ahead.
Well, my question is it for the duration of her term, which I believe is a little over 3 years?
No.
Or is it,
Good
you have
question.
an election?
It's a good question. What we have here is when there is a vacancy in an elected position, and I'm looking at my county attorney, she's looking at me to make sure I say it right. I say it correctly. We can appoint someone to fill the unexpired term until the next general election, which in this case will be November of '24. At that time, even though her term does not expire until '26, there has to be a special election. And then they run again in '26.
So it's only 2 years, basically, that's it.
They run twice in 2 years.
Well, it's twice in 2 years, but what we've got here is whoever we appoint has to be prepared to run 2 elections, one in '24 and one in '26, to keep the continuity. And we're in good hands where we are, so I don't think we have to worry too much.
Sure.
But at the same time, this would be for the remainder of the unexpired term until the November 2024 election, to clarify. Did I get it right?
That's right, yes, sir.
I think another point, couple of points that are important is that we don't have to appoint anybody. We can just leave it open and the chief deputy will continue to run the office. The daddy would still officially be the county clerk and be responsible. It's a little bit off of there. And in either event, the county clerk, current county clerk, and his daddy will continue to receive her salary until an appointment or replacement is made. So there's a number of considerations for the court as we move down the road.
And there is economic impact to the public on what we do. But these are all things that are going to have to be decided, and at this point, I would rather do it deliberately, carefully. I don't think we're in a hurry to do anything. Again, I applaud Mr. McCollum. We're in good hands for the time being. But one of the things that we need to keep in the back of our mind is the county clerk's office is responsible for reporting our criminal cases on a monthly basis. And if we fall outside the required 30-day period, then we lose the ability to receive any grants from the state of Texas, which is important. So we have a very vital function that needs to be performed that is probably going to be overseen by Ms. Dowdy at least for a while, even though she has vacated the premises. So that kind of has us betwixt and between, as you used to say.
Well, I agree, we need to be deliberate and do a thorough process, but I don't want it to linger. I don't want it to drag out a long time. With a reasonable time of taking applications and then, I don't know.
30 days?
That's
Pretty
kind of
normal.
what was bouncing around in my head.
Well, I'm looking at our HR director, she's nodding, so that.
Okay, that's a good indication.
So we'll post it right away and give a 30-day period to file applications. And
And encourage anybody who's interested to file to run.
I think
For the primary coming up in March.
there's several paying attention to us right now, I think,
Sure there
to
are.
see what the process is gonna be.
So
At least one sitting there.
what is the deadline to file to run?
I think December 5 or 7, something like that, first week in December.
Early December.
Pardon?
I think it's the 11th.
11th.
The 11th?
I think that-
Okay.
I think that's right.
It's early December, I know that.
But there's plenty of time.
I was looking at a calendar. I mean,
Mhm.
30 days is going to put it,
In November.
Right.
it'll be November 13th till we can meet, which is 6 weeks away.
But we could cut off the applications the week before and set up the interview process.
What would we need to?
mean, the 30 days isn't gonna be up until November 2nd,
Right.
And our first Commissioners Court meeting is the 13th.
13th. I mean, I just, you know, I don't know that we need, to me, 30 days is good. To me, we do 2 weeks. I mean,
I wouldn't be opposed to that. The information's out there.
I'm looking at an HR director.
I'm trying to too.
Typically it's 30 days, but if you guys are requesting to do this because of a certain timeline,
Well,
sure we can.
well, we don't, I mean, we can appoint today. We don't have to do
Right.
a timeline. So, I mean, I think that it's fairly important for us to make a decision on this sooner rather than later. And to me, even within 3 weeks, it would want
When's the last meeting in October?
the 23rd. No,
Well, even we posted it today and made it 20 days, we would barely get the applications before the Commissioners Court meeting where we're supposed to make the decision. I don't see how we get around it in November 15th.
okay. All right, so we just have them, applications due in 30 days, which would be, I think, November 2nd. And then we interview and try to make a decision on the 13th.
There's something that would stop the court from early interviews of those who submit an application earlier rather than later, and we just have to still keep an open mind for anybody who comes in a little late.
Well, the one thing I like to do, we're getting ready to do interviews for the Chief Public Defender's Office this week. You kind of like to do them all near the same time,
Yes.
so there's no favoritism. And I think Thursday we got our interview set, isn't that right, Judy? We got them on Thursday?
Yes.
And we've got them, we start in the morning and we finish them all by the end of the afternoon, so we've seen everybody at the same
Right.
time. If we start doing them where we're giving somebody what appears to be favored treatment, that's what we're trying to avoid.
Fair enough, but as long as we see everybody, I'm not so sure that it really is favored treatment based on when you see them. You could argue even with the last person you see, like, leave
Well-
the strongest impression. I don't know.
I think it's important to see them all within a day, maybe maximum 2 days, where it's fresh on your mind what this person said in the interview and what this person said. Compare a lot easier than letting a couple of weeks go by.
Well, what I want to do is avoid the appearance of some sort of inside job, inside cozy appointment or something. That's not going to be the case.
I never have to.
But I want the public to see that this is being done openly and fairly.
We could always do a special meeting if they do on the
Sure.
6th, we can do a special meeting.
I'll do.
That's makes it a little bit easier than
When,
trying to do it with a regular meeting anyway.
so that would, 6th would be a Monday?
Yeah.
That would be, and those, we actually can have those on the calendar to be able to make them regular
That's
meetings.
right.
So we could just set the hearing on this for November 6th.
November 6th
I'm good with that.
with the interviews.
Yeah.
That's for the interviews.
Yeah.
Again,
And they're due by the 30 days, but I think it's the 2nd.
we're going to be due the end of the week before, and then we'll have the interviews
Sounds good to me.
on the 6th. And have a special meeting.
Sure.
Just make the whole decision that day.
Yeah.
That's good. So that the public understands what we're doing is we're posting the position online. And we're leaving the period open to file applications for 30 days. That will have those applications due to us probably by the November 3 or so. We're setting aside Monday to do the interviews and a special meeting to make the decision on the interim county clerk position,
November 6th.
November 6th. Okay. Everybody in favor of that?
Yes, sir.
I think if you do on the 1st, would be
So that's the appropriate action that we were talking about, right, Don? In your motion?
Yes,
And
yes,
And you adopt that time schedule?
exactly. I'm good with it.
And you good with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So those in favor of deciding this, hearing the applications and decide making a decision on the county clerk position for November 6th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Moving on, item 1.3.
we pass on that one, Judge. Because we're not going to fill it today.
Correct? Okay. We're going to need to go into executive session to consult with our attorney. We have a few legal matters going on, in case you didn't know, and we have things to talk about. So we're going to take, I don't think we're going to take any action on this executive item, so I don't think we're going to come back. So we're going to go ahead and take a short recess, and we're going to retire into executive session, and we do not will not be taking action after executive session, so you don't need to hang around if you're so inclined. So with that, we'll take a 5-minute recess.